Just discussed the difference in food quality and health of food between Europe and USA. Now, in America, we're full of chemical preservatives to prolong shelf life. In Europe, these substances are actually banned. We got strawberries in like North America. They're like 15 pounds. What the hell are we doing strawberry the size of a watermelon? You don't see this in Europe because it's banned.
The latest conspiracy theory about Damar Hamlin claims that he wasn't really at the Super Bowl because of these tattoos. There's actually two different tattoos that anti-vaccine activists have focused on as they spread baseless theories that Hamlin died after collapsing on the field. The first one is this hand tattoo.
Damar on February 8th, 2023. Damar February 9th, 2023. I just don't understand.
Apparently about how could he have gotten a new tattoo so quickly? A tattoo artist shared photos of Hamlin getting that tattoo in Arizona. So another theory on Reddit compares footage of Hamlin at the Super Bowl to earlier photos, saying that his letter P neck tattoo is missing.
14 billionaires belong to the most secretive family in the world.
We are the flour in your bread, the salt on your fries, and the chocolate in your dessert. We are the pork or chicken you eat for dinner, the cotton in your clothing, and the fertilizer in your field. We are Cargill, the second largest private company in the world.
Cargill has engaged in wartime profiteering in World War II. They tried to corner the corn market during the Dust Bowl, and they've obliterated rainforest biome.
Y'all gonna really impress y'all mama with this one. Let me show you how to cook a cabbage roll so good you can have everybody in the garden fighting rabbits for their food. That's all you're gonna need.
CDC is warning doctors to look out for possible cases of lead poisoning in children linked to tainted applesauce and fruit puree. Officials say at least 22 toddlers in 14 states have become sick, with at least one child having a blood lead level 8 times higher than the concerning level. The outbreak is linked to recalled pouches of Wanabana brand apple cinnamon fruit puree and Schnucks and Weiss brand cinnamon applesauce. The products were sold in stores and online.
They are poisoning us through our food.
My best friend introduced me to this app, Yuka, where you can scan like your food products, your skincare products, anything like that. So I used to love Takis, but I scanned them when I went grocery shopping, and look at this. 0 out of 100, absolutely terrible for you. Now look at the additives that are in here. I'm gonna show them to you and show you exactly what these ingredients do to your body. It has all of these terrible ingredients, additives that are in here. Hazardous, 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 hazardous. So for example, this ingredient in Takis, look at this. Synthetic red dye causes hyperactivity and attention deficit disorders in children when combined with sodium benzoate. It is also believed to cause allergic reactions, hives, eczema. Now look at the next one. Monosodium glutamate, I think that's how you say it, okay. Consumption of glutamate may cause a variety of symptoms, including nausea, migraine, skin flushing, hot flashes. Moreover, glutamate may contribute to weight gain, obesity, and diabetes risk. Finally, it is believed to play a role in the development of neurodegenerative and autoimmune disorders. This ingredient right here, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but it says slows down the oxidation reaction of food. This is a cereal that I scanned. It has a score of 100 out of 100, and it tells you that there is no additives in here and that it's healthy for you. Guys, this app has changed my life, and this is not sponsored at all. But it's very eye-opening. Like, watch and be careful what you guys are putting in your bodies. This is serious. They're literally poisoning our foods.
University are calling for stronger regulations
after finding phthalates and replacement plasticizers in more than 80% of the popular fast foods they tested. National chains like McDonald's, Domino's, and Chipotle all have something in common, according to new research: potentially dangerous chemicals found in the food.
To be honest, the regulations for phthalates don't make sense.
Dr. Lariah Edwards is the lead researcher of the study that analyzed fast food, finding phthalates and other plasticizers leaching into the food we eat. The chemicals are used to make plastic soft for food packaging, processing equipment, and handling gloves.
They are banned in toys, but they're not regulated in food contact materials or in cosmetics. So from our study, we're seeing that we found these chemicals in our foods, and that's a concern.
The study builds on previous research that found people who reported eating more fast food had higher levels of phthalates in their systems. Not much is known yet on the impact of the plasticizers that have emerged in recent years to replace them.
The chemicals that we are putting into our everyday products are affecting the way our hormone systems run, and they're having adverse effects.
Dr. Susan Buchanan with the University of Illinois School of Public Health says the effects of phthalates range from reproduction issues to diabetes and behavioral problems in children, and it could be felt more acutely in areas where there's limited access to healthier food options.
Fast food is so much more available, popular, accessible, affordable among low-income communities. We need to fix that problem as well.
Well, I certainly don't mean for these results to be alarming. I really hope that they inform consumers and inform policymakers who can advocate for stronger regulations so that these chemicals aren't found in our foods.
The FDA says it is reviewing this study, Ben and Lourdes, those fast food chains that were mentioned in the study. No comment from them so far.
So it's the packaging that then seeps into the food.
That appears to be the case, but a lot more research going to be done on this.
Okay.
Ongoing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just discussed the difference in food quality and health of food between Europe and USA. Now, in America, we're full of chemical preservatives to prolong shelf life. In Europe, these substances are actually banned. We got strawberries in North America. They're like 15 pounds. What the hell are we doing with strawberries the size of a watermelon? You don't see this in Europe because it's banned. And that's why they live a healthier lifestyle and they live longer, is because our food is full of chemicals and preservatives and we're basically poisoning ourselves. For example, ketchup. Look at this. High fructose corn syrup, natural flavoring, tomato concentrate. Europe, everything is natural. And this is just one example of ketchup.
Why is all of our motherfucking food full of shit and sugar? It's like they're trying to poison us. Wake up.
$14 billionaires belong to the most secretive family in the world.
We are the flour in your bread, the salt on your fries, and the chocolate in your dessert. We are the pork or chicken you eat for dinner, the cotton in your clothing, and the fertilizer in your field. We are Cargill, the second largest private company in the world.
Cargill has engaged in wartime profiteering in World War II. They tried to corner the corn market during the Dust Bowl, and they've obliterated rainforest biomes. They made a record $165 billion last year. Their intelligence on food and agriculture has even been said to exceed the CIA's. But it's entirely up to the Cargill family what is made public, because they still own 88% of the company. They are one of 4 corporations that nearly all agricultural commodities pass through, but their invisibility is no accident. You can't boycott Cargill if you can't see Cargill. That's
This family of billionaires secretly controls the world, but you might not even know who they are. They are the Astor family, a dynasty whose influence permeates countless industries. John Jacob Astor, an immigrant from Germany, arrived in the United States back in the 1780s with nothing but dreams and determination. He turned those dreams into a vast fortune, becoming the richest man in America. His playground? The lucrative realms of fur trade and, most significantly, New York real estate. But the plot thickens. John Jacob was only the first in a long line of Astors who continued to solidify their family's empire. His descendants, they didn't just rest on their inherited wealth. Oh no. They expanded it through calculated business moves and strategic marriages, infiltrating various sectors from real estate to publishing, even reaching into the corridors of politics. The Astor family remains powerful today, silently steering industries while staying out of the limelight. You won't find their first names in headlines, but their influence persists, shaping real estate to politics from the shadows. Anonymity is their armor, allowing them to wield vast power unseen. Remember, Astor isn't just a name, it's a subtle force continually shaping our world. The first billionaire in history, the man who took over the American economy, Part 2. John was thinking about the oil business and this new opportunity. He realized there was a huge risk involved. The problem was that there were a lot of companies before him that went bankrupt before they could even get the oil out. So John D. Rockefeller decided he would buy it and refine it. Also, he was waiting for the government to launch a railway line so that they could start transporting oil and its products. Johnny Boy was ready, along with his partners and the banks who were ready to support John financially. At this time, John was thinking, there has to be more ideas to it. So he got together a team of scientists, chemists, and engineers, created a conducive work environment for them, and they put plans and goals so they could find out what else this oil could be used for. Back then, the best oil refining machines could only work at about 60% capacity. But John's machines took that up a notch. They started to produce new stuff like tar, wax, and crude gasoline. In just 2 years, these machines were worth more than $70,000. Managing this empire became a heavy load, and John found it increasingly difficult. So he decided to start a new company and merged all the businesses and departments into one company called Standard Oil. He has set up a meeting with his rivals. He enthusiastically told them, whoever stands in my way, they'll be crushed. Then after that, he offered to buy all their companies at a reasonable price. They started working under his new company. And of course, some competitors agreed to sell, fearing the worst, while others declined. After that, he dropped oil prices by 80%. This essentially suffocated his competitors and their companies. He pushed them into bankruptcy. John managed to secure all the oil refineries in Northeast America. His competitors were shocked. So they all started to attack the Standard Oil Company. From businessmen to politicians, even the media joined the fray. They tried to pass a law to prevent John from monopolizing, and they tried to stop him from expanding his business, but he was always one step ahead. But that's not everything. I will explain everything in the third part. This is the story of one of the richest men who ever lived. John Rockefeller Part 3. John started to gain more control than ever. So at that moment, Standard Oil Company was in the top position and its market value was high, as it possessed more than 2,000 barrels of oil and 4,000 kilos of pipeline. He started losing control of the market, both domestically and abroad, as they discovered alternate sources in Russia for oil. That's when the Rothschild family came into play, making a major move to take over the Russian oil scene. I've already talked about this family, the Rothschilds, and how they control the economy, politics, and health. They own half of the world's wealth. They actually managed to take over these sites in Russia and easily transported them to America. The federal government issued a law prohibiting monopolies, which gave politicians the power to confront John and to take on his Standard Oil Company. But despite all these issues, the government couldn't fully investigate the company because it was too big. It'd have taken years to finish. After they eventually did, a few years later, John by then had amassed a fortune beyond imagination, and his influence on the market had reduced significantly. The value of Standard Oil reached $1 trillion. That's an astronomical figure, hence why the dissolution of the company was expected. Afterwards, they imposed penalties on the company because they were competing illegally. And indeed, they split the parent company into 34 separate ones. What the politicians didn't know at the time was that this division turned out to be the biggest profit in John's life. Over time, these companies re-merged, and some of them still exist today. John's stake in these companies made him the richest businessman ever known in history. John D. Rockefeller's wealth is estimated at $400 billion.
Into bed you hop and dream away. Lollipop is sweet. Trip to a candy shop where bonbons play. peppermint bang, lemonade stands everywhere.
For context, this came out in 1934. What exactly was happening here? At first it looks family friendly, but then things seem to take a strange turn. For one instance, she seems to be pulling down her dress a lot. It could be nothing, but if you look into her interviews, things become apparent that there is more than meets the eye. TikTok, this is just for entertainment purposes only.
One guy, when I left Fox, I went to MGM for one picture. Thank goodness, only one. And when I got there with my mother, we were separated. I went into the office of Arthur Freed, and he was going to talk to me about a movie he wanted to put me in. I'm 12 years old, you know. Instead, he was an exhibitor. I'd never seen anyone naked before, except myself, so I had no clue about what was happening. So it struck me so funny, I laughed at him, and he got infuriated, and he said, out, 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 go. So I tell your mother? Well, she came out very quietly from Louis B. Mayer's office, and we walked hand in.
The wheels.
The wheels.
The wheels.
The wheels. Well, the wheels are coming off.
The wheels off.
The wheels are coming off.
Coming off.
The wheels are coming off.
The wheels may be coming off.
The wheels are coming off.
The wheels are coming off.
The wheels are falling off. The wheels are coming off.
The wheels are off.
The wheels are coming off.
The wheels are coming off.
Fortnite Iceberg Level 6. Fortnite is real. 2 weeks before Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 6, a 0 point was exposed on the Fortnite island, sending distress signals out into reality. However, during the same time, scientists discovered a blue object in deep space emitting radio frequencies. This led some people to believe that the Fortnite island is actually out in the universe and not just another normal video game map. What do you believe, fact or fake? What Fortnite conspiracy should I cover next? Subscribe for more.
They don't even hide it anymore.
The season premiere of SNL with Ice Spice.
Ooh, look at us, 3 Gen Z icons.
Aren't you like 40?
No. Long time ago, I met this guy and made a deal where I get to stay 25 years old for forever.
What guy?
Tall fella, horns, red fur, I don't know, little hoods.
Keen, that's the devil, dude.
What? I thought it was like a Times Square Elmo or something.
Now to a rare look at the tiny cables that run along the bottom of the ocean, connecting Australia with the rest of the world. We rely on this network anytime we stream Netflix, FaceTime someone overseas, or do a Google search. But most of us never give it a second thought.
Resting on the ocean floor among the seaweed and the fish.
Cable sitting on the seabed.
The reason you can pick up your phone and access any information or video you want.
99% of that digital content comes from our subsea cable network.
Telstra operates around 400,000 kilometres of subsea cable connecting Australia with the world. This is what they look like up close.
They're so tiny.
Yeah, no, it's remarkable. It just amazes me how much the technology has advanced from this to that.
This is coaxial cable. It connected Australia to New Zealand in the 80s and could carry about 1,000 phone calls. That is fibre optic, capable of 200 million calls. But now it's all about data. From your phone to a tower, the data then travels to a cable station across the ocean floor and back at the speed of light. The strategic importance of this underwater information highway on show last month when the Australian government partnered with the United States and Google, a $100 million deal to run undersea cables to at least 8 Pacific Island nations. The international subsea cables make land in Australia here on Sydney's eastern and northern beaches, as well as the Gold Coast and in Perth. They are constantly monitored for any disruption. Just last year, the United States foiled a plan to hack one of its cables near Hawaii. Telstra has built layers of protection, from the armour that coats the fibres to a warning system if a boat gets close, and patrols across Australia and Asia, including mainland China, to fix any disruptions.
If the water is 8 kilometres deep, it could take 8 hours to get the grappling hook to the bottom, and then you've got to...
So it's no quick fix?
No. It can take a week.
Other cables will carry the load while that happens, so we are none the wiser to this magic of modern technology. In Tamarama, Jane Azzopardi, 9 News.
Top 10 most powerful family 8.
Number 8.
The Wallenberg family. The Wallenberg family is one of those who are supposedly pulling the strings. They're more well known among Swedish people, which makes sense since they're a Swedish family. Like the Rockefellers and Warburgs, it's not a hidden secret that the Wallenbergs are a wealthy and powerful family. There have been many prominent Wallenbergs throughout the 20th century and probably the 21st century as well. Sweden was the first nation to have a central bank. The Wallenbergs are said to have been heavily involved in it, which leads to a lot of talk about the Wallenbergs.
You know how the Rockefellers control the world because they're the richest family in America? Well, check it out. I found this sick infographic to show us that, wait a minute, they're not the richest family in America? Oh, then maybe they're the second. Not the third? Wait a minute. What? Maybe the Walton family is way more powerful than the Rockefellers, but something about that just seems a little fishy. That's weird.
Inside the mysterious world of the Rothschild family, people have accused the Rothschilds of being behind secretive groups and having control over the media and money around the globe. Who are the Rothschilds? They are a family who started with a man named Mayer Amschel Rothschild. He was a famous banker a very long time ago in the 18th century. He became very rich fast and had 5 sons who started huge banks in 5 important European countries. But even though some people think there is a big secret plan, there is no proof that it actually exists. The Rothschild Group is a big bank that invests all around the world. But because the family has so many relatives, each person gets less money than some people think they have. Do you know?
Mrs. Mayer Rothschild once said, "If my sons did not want wars, there would be no wars in the world." This statement is thought-provoking and reveals the profound influence of the Rothschild family. As the world's largest financial conglomerate, the Rothschild family gained control of the economic lifelines of the entire Europe in less than a century. However, this did not satisfy the family's expansion ambitions. They also established the Federal Reserve in America, becoming the issuing authority of the US dollar. They understood that once they controlled the right to issue currency, they controlled everything in the entire country. In the 21st century, the Rothschild family no longer hides their wealth. They have established an official website to introduce the family and its industries. For example, De Beers, the world's largest diamond company, is one of the industries owned by the Rothschild family, possessing 40% of the world's diamonds. Other industries include the world's largest tobacco company, Philip Morris International, the most expensive wine H2 Lafite, the world's largest investment bank, Goldman Sachs, and one of the largest media companies, the New York Times, Google, etc. All of these are industries owned by the Rothschild family. The pattern on the US dollar issued by the Federal Reserve, the pyramid, symbolizes our social structure. The base represents ordinary people, the middle is the managers, and the pyramid's tip is the big financial conglomerates, with the Rothschild family at the very top. This means that the Rothschild family has transcended society and become a god-like existence. Despite having immense wealth, the 8th generation of the Rothschild family maintained a low profile during their marriages, with their wedding rings weighing only 8 carats. Perhaps this is because even though they own 40% of the world's diamonds, they choose to live a discreet lifestyle.
With the American people here, Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties. It has consolidated all media into one state TV media arm. That's not democratic. It has threatened not to hold elections this year unless the U.S. forks over more money. That is not democratic. More facts for you that you won't hear from the mainstream in either party or the mainstream media. Regions of Ukraine that are occupied by Russia right now in the Donbass, Luhansk, Donetsk. These are Russian-speaking regions that have not even been part of Ukraine since 2014, that other people probably couldn't name those provinces for you.
Do you agree with what he is saying? Could this entire war be a scam? Could Ukraine not actually be democratic, or is this guy spewing up made-up stories? Mind you, this was filmed on November of this year, so it's pretty recent. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Those are the hard facts. And so to frame this as some kind of battle between good versus evil, don't buy it. And I'd like the likes of the sharpest of the war hawks on Ukraine, Nikki Haley, to have some accountability and answer. Do you want to use U.S. taxpayer money to fund the banning of Christians? That is actually what's happening. They're using the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They have banned them. The Ukrainian parliament just did this last week, supported by our dollars. And I think you owe it to the American people, Nikki, to at least this one time at least condemn.
Thank you. That's time.
At least to condemn their banning of Christians.
I want to turn now to a series of stories that we are doing this week on how U.S. food regulations have left American consumers exposed to chemicals and additives that have been banned in other countries.
Potassium bromate is a suspected carcinogen that's banned for human consumption in Europe as well as China and India, but legal in the U.S.
Can we say for sure that these differences in regulations mean that people in the U.S. have developed cancers that they would not have developed if they'd been eating only in Europe?
I think that is almost certainly the conclusion that we could reach.
It's not just potassium bromate, but many other chemicals and substances that are banned here in Europe over health concerns, but considered safe by the FDA.
Do you think it's coincidence that our food is making us sick and the pharmaceutical industry is thriving? Comment to amplify your voice and be heard.
Walmart eggs are made of plastic.
Made out of fucking plastic, man. Glue or some shit. I just think I'm finna make some breakfast. This is fucking plastic. The whole top part is plastic. All this is plastic. I just cooked the fucking egg, just plastic.
Keep watching.
Only one real is this yellow shit. Even the bottom, this is plastic. This is fucking plastic. Look at this shit. This is plastic.
There is something up with the eggs. It goes well beyond just the feed and the yolk being on the outside. Something is up with the eggs.
It's like
this woman boiled them and they came out this deformed with a internal yolk that's rubbery instead of pasty. Look at this crap.
This are those rubber eggs, honestly. Can you believe that? It's so gross. And these are from Eggland, okay? Has this ever happened to anybody where your eggs turn out to be rubber and hard? Look at that. They kind of bounce. Oh, this is so gross.
An egg from Aldi. Wait, there's more. This is also an egg from Aldi. I don't know. I'm a little suspicious of their food now. I felt pretty confident about their food. But now, not so much.
Watch this.
You've heard of plant-based protein powder, but what if the next alternative was made out of plastic? There's new research that could make it a reality.
All right, Stacey Delcat talked to a scientist about the process that could help fight hunger and pollution.
Food shortages are worsening around the world, and the plastic pollution crisis continues to intensify. What if there was one solution to both of these problems? A Michigan scientist thinks there could be.
What we're trying to do is to use microbes to take plastic and other inedible plant material and turn that into something that's nutritious.
The idea is to turn components of plastic into protein and other nutrients like fats and sugars. If that sounds kind of gross to you, well,
I don't want to eat plastic either. What we're trying to do is to take that plastic and turn it into something completely different.
Steve Techman, an environmental microbiologist and an associate professor at Michigan Technological University, and his colleagues were just honored with a more than $1 million Future Insight Prize from a German company that will allow them to delve deeper into their research. Techman says their process works by using microbes to break down the plastic completely.
In the end, all we're left with are microbial cells. And those cells are made up of a lot of the same things in the food that we eat: proteins, lipids, sugars, and vitamins.
Techman says the resulting cells, once dried out, are a powder resembling brown sugar. And he says the full conversion takes just about a day.
Which I think is pretty exciting because plastics in the environment can take years to break down. And so the fact that we can break plastics down in a day is pretty cool, I think.
It'll likely be a few years at least before turning plastic into protein or other food becomes a reality. And even when it does, the scientists say they envision that the end product is going to be used for something more like emergency food rations than something you would find on the grocery store shelves.
We're going to eat plastic.
I'm Stacey Delicat, Fox 5 News.
I know damn well they're not making plastic ice cream, and it's for entertainment purposes only.
This looks like your regular vanilla ice cream, but the dessert is the first of its kind in the world. Its flavoring is derived from plastic waste.
The vanillin contained in the ice cream is what it's coming from the same plastic as we can find in bottles, plastic bottles.
Ain't no fucking way.
I did that collaborating with bacteria and enzymes that actually naturally evolved to digest plastic.
The process is developed by scientists in Edinburgh and harnesses the power of bacteria and enzymes to break down the plastic's polymers into molecules that are no longer plastic. The PETs are then processed by another bacteria to turn it into vanillin. The designer says the idea was born from frustration about the failure of the recycling system and how it cannot keep up with plastic production.
Stop! Stop, fucking stop. So y'all was frustrated with the plastic pollution, so y'all start making ice cream out of it. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, we're not talking about a plastic toy ice cream scoop. We're talking about real ice cream that's going inside of your real intestines. So instead of finding a more efficient way of disposing of the plastic, niggas can eat it now. Like, don't that just sound so yummy? A plastic vanilla ice cream scoop made out of real plastic, like the plastic inside of a water bottle. Yummy. Let me know what y'all think about this plastic ice cream to help stop the global warming of plastic. Yeah, in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. And by the way, this for entertainment purposes only.
This family of billionaires secretly control the world, and you don't even know who they are, the DuPont family. In 1802, they founded a company. The primary product, gunpowder. In an era marked by conflict and expansion, their product was vital for the young American nation. From the War of 1812 through to the Vietnam War, the DuPonts became an essential supplier, positioning themselves firmly within the military-industrial complex and accumulating wealth and influence along the way. But the DuPonts didn't rest on their laurels. They understood the need for adaptation and diversification. As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, they pivoted, plunging headfirst into the new and burgeoning field of industrial chemistry. They developed and manufactured a range of chemicals and materials that have since become cornerstones of modern industry. Nylon, used in everything from clothing to parachutes. Teflon, a revolutionary non-stick surface. And Kevlar, a material famed for its use in bulletproof vests. These are just a few examples of their innovative products. Each one was a game changer in its own right, further expanding the DuPont's fortune and their impact on society. Their knack for trend spotting, their willingness to diversify and innovate, and their strategic position in industries of great importance are the key pillars of the DuPont's wealth accumulation. Their story is a testament to strategic planning, clever diversification, and relentless innovation.
What can we find in a McNugget under the microscope? I will show you a before and after polarization image. By using polarized light, we can highlight fibers, plastics, and other hidden materials. Almost everything you see lit up here could potentially be a microplastic or fiber of some sort. It was surprising to see the quantity of these in a small part of the nugget. I bought 40 of these.
I am not well.
Let's see what we got. Yo! What the? Boy, why they need a soda cup? What is that? Boy, that looked like a brain. Why in the bubble gum is that? Black, blue hot dog. What in the flying glizzy is this?
Now that's all American hot dog right there. Now them all American hot dog. Bust it open. Ooh.
Y'all gonna really impress your mama with this one. Let me show you how to cook a cabbage roll so good you can have everybody in the garden fighting rabbits for their food. That's all you're gonna need. I threw some deer ground meat in there because I had it, but you don't have to. In a big bowl, throw your meat in, add a can of Rotel, your vegetables, 4 cups of uncooked rice, your seasonings, a half a can of tomato sauce. Mix that all up. Cut the core out of your cabbage and start balling it. As the leaves get soft, pull them out and place them on the side. The smaller damaged leaves, keep them because you can lay at the bottom of your pot so your good rolls don't stick to the bottom. Cut the thick part of the cabbage leaf out. Now you're ready to roll them. Place the meat in the middle, fold the outsides in and tuck it in like a burrito. Once you get them rolled up nice and pretty, layer them in the pot, sprinkle them with seasoning and add a little bit of tomato sauce. Repeat this process till you run out of room in the pot. Add 16 ounces of chicken stock and then add enough water to cover the cabbage. You can either stick it in the oven at 350 for about an hour and a half, or if it's a pretty day outside, put it outside on your burner on medium. Give it a little shake stir every 15 minutes. And when it looks like this, it's time to manger, boy.